Okay, welcome back.
Open heaven.
Open heaven.
Over Nigeria.
Yes, over Nigeria. It's D-Day in Anambra State. The Anambra governorship election is going on. Indigents of the state are left to decide who will govern.
Residents?
Okay, residents, yes. And, if you stay in Anambra State and you're registered there,
yes.
Then you
even
can
if you're
vote.
from where? From outside of Nigeria, but you're a resident in Anambra and you registered.
You registered, and you have your voters card.
I have your voters card. Be
vote.
sure your name is in the voters register.
Okay.
And
not duplicated everywhere.
Not duplicated.
Okay. Okay, so it's D-Day for them, and for the next 4 years, they want to
decide who will sit down for the next 4 years.
Sit down in the government house and look over the affairs of the states. But that's going on now. We'll be linking up with Shehu and other crew members there. But in the studio this morning, we'll be looking at, this election in the context of leadership. How do we elect our leaders, and what are those things that we look out for? How prepared is the electoral body for this election and subsequent ones? We have in the studio this morning a legal practitioner, Mr. Olashukbo Uju. Good to have you here.
Yeah, good morning.
Also a lawyer, Ugo Otoye. Thank you for coming. And a vocational training advocate, Ovie Benitie. Good to have you here.
Thank you.
Okay, so Anambra, let me start with you, Mr. Uju. Anambra election is going on, and yes. There's been a lot of preparations. INEC, the security operatives, the people seem to be ready to. So, what do you expect today?
Well, I expect that lessons will have been learned from what happened in the past, especially that led to the election holding separate from the general election. It was because of mismanagement that pitched them outside, that took them outside the real general election where everybody, all other states do their own, and it is costing all of us extra money to do that, and I hope everybody will appreciate it to ensure that all the resources being deployed does not go to waste this time around. And how do they do that? Simply by complying. Compliance. Whatever rules, whatever directives, whatever is in the law, just comply. Nobody should look for any shortcuts. Nobody should try to do anything different from what the law says or what the rule says. Once we comply, everything will go smoothly. And I pray that at the end of the day, Anambra will have moved further and Nigeria will have moved further better than we used to do things.
Okay. Mr. Otoye.
Yes.
Mr. Joe talked about how Anambra State got out of the regular election cycle, and now we're having this election. It ties to litigation. I think it had to do with litigations and all of that around the last election before that. So how is it that we can get beyond that point where we take elections as they are without having to think about, well, if I fail here, I'm going to court?
Okay, I think everything starts and ends with leadership. For the very first time in this election, it was in the history of elections in Nigeria. This is the first time we've not had any litigation after the primaries.
Okay.
So it's a good one.
It's a good one. Yes. We'll come back to talk about litigations. We'll just take a moment and be back shortly. Welcome back. We're still here on Sunrise, and we're focusing on the Anambra election vis-a-vis leadership recruitment, the processes and litigations. Mr. Otoye was talking about the role that litigation has played to bring Anambra State out of the regular election cycle to where we are now. Before we come to you, let's talk to our correspondent, Shehu Kimbaloye, who is on ground, to let us know what the situation is in Anambra State. Shehu?
Thank you so much, Kaza. It's really been a very impressive in some areas, two of issues of slow distribution of materials, a few issues of logistics. But it looks so much that in a lot of places, that have started. we're live in the community primary school, Amobia.
Of Anambra State, and here we're monitoring the situation here for you. And so if you can see just behind me is one of the polling center. Actually here we have about 5 polling points in this area. It's one of the largest voting point in Amobia, and so you see people queuing up and ready to take their turns. And just here are the ad hoc staff and the INEC officials who are administering this process. So you get a sense of what exactly how this process is going to be after they've verified here whether or not their name is on the INEC register, voters register. They go up there. Don't forget that it is an accreditation and voting put together, simultaneous voting that is being done here. Is a revised INEC process to the Nigerian election. So when they finish their accreditation, they go straight to voting. And so you see, this is a woman here who is already casting the ballot. There are few incidents that we've experienced today. Earlier on today, some security operatives apprehended an old man who was caught sharing money to voters. He's been arrested, and we'll get details of that incident much later. Let's get a sense of what this means totally for INEC and how INEC is handling all of this situation. We have INEC National Commissioner Prince Soyebi. He joins us here. We are able to catch up with him as soon as he visited here. Thank you so much, Mr. Soyebi, for joining us on Channels Television. It seems that not everything is going on according to your plans, but how are you catching up with some of the logistic problem that you've experienced today?
On the contrary, everything is going on well.
Not in every place, Mr. Soyebi, that we're visiting.
Yes, I have the statistics, because you can see that polling actually commenced in more than 80%. We have a punctuality index of about 80% all over the state. You will see that the whole exercise took a bit of, was a little bit wobbly yesterday night, but we're able to surpass most of these problems, and we made sure that we opened most of the places. Now, the voting started on a very slow pace, and it's picking up. Where I'm standing now and in most other places where I've been, I'm shocked because we have just 2 polling booths here and about 4 different voting points. We've had more than 300 people who have voted here, according to my statistics. This is about 11 o'clock. It's the same thing about 2 other places we have been.
But have you heard that some of the card readers have failed today?
Yes, about 4 of them, but they have been replaced, I can assure you. We told you yesterday that their machines, they are bound to malfunction, but definitely they have addressed that issue very promptly, and I'm very happy to notice that in places like Odisha, where we have this type of problem, it was promptly attended to. It's the same thing with Inewi. And in Okaya too, we have few incidences. But by and large, when we look at the larger picture, when we look at those that are working rather than those that are not working, you will see that we have a larger percentage of function here rather than malfunction.
In some places, in the last 1 hour, voting materials have not even arrived in some areas in the state.
Yes, I agree with you. We have some problems with the coppers, especially those that we brought from outside the state. Most of them did not want to go to where they are posted. Most of them could not even find their posting. There was a mix-up in posting of coppers. It's caused by a coppers mix-up. In fact, in Oka South here, we had to shift about 180 to Inewi, North and South, at about 8:30. That's going to cause some delay. That's just a major problem which we encounter.
Before I allow you to go, Prince Soyebi, security is a major one. A man was arrested here, an elderly man with money, with cash. What exactly are your thoughts on, and what is INEC going to do about that kind of incident?
Well, I'm not in hold of such information now, but we know it's an electoral malpractice. If such is found, we'll deal with it at least according to the law. But I'm not aware of such incidents as I'm talking to you.
Prince Soyebi, always a pleasure having you talk to us on Channels Television. And so the voting exercise is ongoing. For a lot of our viewers who are wondering what exactly is happening, yeah, you can see the woman here is putting our ballot in the ballot box. It's an open secret ballot